Welcome everyone to this episode 12 of the Nano Community Initiatives 3 Stories. This audio series at where we conversate with nano creators, nano builders, with the nano community as we are now today. Have a welcome for me and I wanna to present myself. I am Carlos Murgas. I am an Nano Community Ambassador from Colombia, and this space that we are now is today a fundraiser, a crowd-raised initiative. The community was convoked to support this audio series, and the community answered with the full help that has secured these monthly or trimestral conversations at the core of the community to speak about the new nano initiatives creations, the support, the advances that the stories that are in need to be told. So welcome. I wanna give a first welcome to George. Welcome from Nano.casa. You can speak. Welcome.
Hey, Carlos. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. It's very nice for me to have you here. Also, I wanna say hi to Lorenzo, one of our first attendants here. Hope you're having a good time. And yeah, let's give a moment to the other two stories to come here to the stage, and we will be starting this conversation about Nano and all the amazing initiatives, the three amazing stories that we are going to be meeting today. Yes, Lorenzo, you can speak. Hello.
I just wanted to say hi. Ciao.
Ciao. Hello, Esteban. Welcome from Metrics.bar.
What's up? Hey, everybody.
Hey,
So
yeah.
wait, it was 3 p.m. my time or 2 p.m.?
Here is 2 p.m. Maybe it's 3 p.m. there at your time.
Oh, well, it's a good thing I just joined because I would have been super late.
No. Welcome. I make sure to convert to the minutes, the remaining hours. But very good to have you here. Welcome, Esteban. And yeah, we were saying that Nano is a novel digital, well, not so novel now. We have some years of history actually, and but the basic of the technology that makes Nano digital money being used today is a key for the future, as it has no fees involved. It is near instant in its confirmation of the transactions that you're sending and receiving, and yeah, it's basically a money. It's a coin that doesn't destroy the planet that we are living at. That's pretty cool, huh? And yeah, we are keen to use it. We are using it. Use Nano today. If you don't know or you don't have any Nano, or you don't know how to get any Nano, there are many faucets out there that at where you can claim some. If you want to learn more, go to the hub, the Nano hub that you can find at your web browser, at your phone, looking for hub.nano.org. So go there and learn more about Nano, at what is that money that we are using today, that digital money that we are using today. All right, I also want to say hi to our attendants. Welcome, Bini from the Nano Foundation. Good to have you here. Also, hi to Kedrin that is here with us today. Also, hi, Loris. Welcome, Loris. And Nano for Pips. Okay, hello. Nice to have you here as well. George, Esteban, how have you been the story at where you are working today? How has been this journey for you to maybe being with some peaks before we go full into the conversation? Welcome, you can speak.
Gracias, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. It's a pleasure to be here and make my first Twitter space in the Nano community, even though I've been around since 2018-ish. Yeah, I have a lot of projects in the Nano space, but I'm happy to talk about Metrics.bar today. Metrics.bar is a Google Analytics alternative, and it's not one of the most exciting projects that I've ever built, but it is one of the most critical projects that every developer needs. Every developer, every person on the internet needs to track their effort. If you have a website, if you have a blog, if you have both, you need to measure your page visitors, your unique visitors, which pages have the most visits, and more importantly, is your website converting or not? And of course, conversions are relative to whatever you need, whether it's a contact form, a Shopify, etc. So I found myself, so Metrics.bar was launched in 2021. Around that time, I found myself with a choice. Do I feed the beast, which is Google Analytics, and I bring along with me all of the stigma that Google Analytics has? I bring that along with me to every project that I build. And I also deal with most of the world just using ad blockers and blocking Google Analytics. So I was dealing with that, or I would build out my own Google Analytics. And I decided to do that for various reasons. Number one, it's my own product, so the privacy loop is pretty closed. There's a lot of things that went into Metrics.bar without going into too much detail. For example, IP addresses and things like that. Everything happens within the app. There is no external services. There is no leaking of data, as they say. Metrics.bar is a self-contained analytics platform that is pretty private. Your data is encrypted with your password. So every time that you log in, that's where the data is unencrypted and shown to you. And that basically makes it impossible to sell your data, even if I wanted to. So let's see. Let me try to keep a train of thought. You did send me, Carlos, a list of questions. So that was the first question. What is the story behind the product? Essentially,
Right.
I needed my own analytics. The main features of Metrics.bar is number one, it's a fully featured Google Analytics alternative with Nano integration. So you can pay with Nano, which is around $10 a month. Actually, $5. It went down last month. The price actually fluctuates with Nano. So it's always $5 in USD. But when you go subscribe, when you upgrade, it might be, for example, 7 Nano, right? And the way I accomplish this is that if you're gonna pay a Nano, it's prepaid, so you can pay per month as many months as you want. That's how I went around the whole no subscriptions and Nano situation, but it works pretty well in my opinion. because prepay is just as good as having a monthly subscription on somebody's credit card. You know what? Let me stop there. I'll take a couple questions if there's any, and we can circle back to some of the other questions.
Wonderful. That's a very straight out telling of the Metrics.bar story, and we have learned from you that you don't have to, as you said, feed the beast to make our own products and make our own tools. That you are also sharing with us that you can go further and try to improve the privacy of the way that you are using the tools. And that two approaches that you are bringing to the conversation, it's a reminder for all of us that we should be looking forward for what Metrics.bar and all the ecosystem or the habitats that you are also creating into the ecosystem, into the nano ecosystem. So that's very good to start with. I am pleased, and at this moment, I would also wanna listen. I wanna listen to George, that is also here with us, about Nano.casa. That what can you bring to conversate, or what can you share with us about the history behind Nano.casa? Why casa? For example, are we living at it? Welcome, George.
Hi. So I've been following Nano since late 2017, I think. And I remember someone posted about it on Reddit. And the thing that caught my attention then was the do one thing and do it well philosophy. And I'm super glad it's still the case this many years later. And since then, I've worked on a couple of nano-related projects like PolyRun, I think you've heard of it maybe, and Nano.casa. And the story behind it is I was browsing the Nano Nodes repo one day, and for those who don't know, repos have a section for statistics on GitHub where you can view the activity over time for that repo. And I'm really into data visualization, and I thought it'd be cool to see the activity across the whole ecosystem, not just for one repo. So I looked around, but didn't really find anything already built. So I built it myself, and I started messing with the GitHub API, and a few hours later, I got an MVP, and the data looked interesting enough. So I worked on making it a bit more presentable, and then tweeted about it. And it was actually surprisingly well received. And I've been sitting on the domain Nano.casa for quite a while. Actually, it was like over a year at that point. I didn't know what to do with it. So by that time, it sounded fitting for this purpose. So I just went with it. And that's how it was born, basically.
Great to know. As
Yeah,
we were, Esteban?
Yeah, I was going to say a quick shout out. I love Nano.casa. The UI is fantastic. So good job, George.
Thank you, George. Also, I wanted to ask, have you considered using it for other networks as well? Because sometimes, of course, it's nice to find what's being done on the network that you use the most, etc. But sometimes people are afraid, of adapting something without knowing what's going on, and they think that development is happening only elsewhere. But if you evaluate all the things together, you can see that Nano, it's probably deserving more.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mean if I considered adding support for different topics other than Nano or outside of open source? I didn't get the question.
Other open source projects that can play well with Nano or are in the same industry of Nano?
Yeah, so I think what you're asking me is like support for multi-coin wallets, for example, that support other coins other than Nano, stuff like that. In that case, yes, I'm.
No. Tracking the commits and the work and then the repositories. Also about, for example, other networks, so that we can evaluate together Nano and other crypto networks.
Other crypto.
Like something like Nano.casa, for example.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe something to consider.
Yeah, just a
Great.
drop down.
Great. Thanks, Lorenzo. That's a good question. As some of us might like, open source software is also a way to share what we create, right? And depending of the developer, I came to think a way of doing his or her software. It might be an option to look at to make your product multi-platform, as we are aware that digital money is a thing of now, right? And in the future, we might find surprises of what our tools can be used for. So let's look into that with an open mind. Thanks, Lorenzo, for that question, and everyone for sharing this. I will also wanna ask both of our speakers here or guests today. Have you encountered any obstacle about creating or doing the marketing for your product, for your service, or maybe it's a zero issues path that I doubt? Let's see, George.
So I don't think I've encountered any challenges. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward project with a narrow scope. So I think the only challenge is actually finding enough free time to work on it. But I'd say adding support for partial repos, like I said, for projects that not only focus on Nano, but other coins or other aspects as well. But we only want to track the activity related to Nano. That was a bit more involved. I'm still working on that. But yeah, other than that, I don't think it was pretty smooth sailing for me. What about you, Esteban?
Oh yeah, a lot of obstacles. Um, so a quick recap on how I decide to work on something. I don't enjoy creating alternatives to everything. Absolutely not. I only do it in two occasions. Number one, the current dominant service is terrible, such as Google Analytics, or number two, it just doesn't exist. So, for example, when I found Nano, like George, I had the Nano.2 domain, and I wasn't even sure when I bought it what it was going to be. It was only a few weeks later that the idea kind of started to come together, and it became this kind of centralized name service hosted on GitHub, which is pretty cool to this day. And then immediately while working on Nano 2, I realized, oh, wait a minute, I need public access to a node. Do I have to set up my own node, or can I use somebody else's node? And then I started Googling, public Nano nodes. And at the time, George's website didn't exist. The links that I did find on Google were slightly outdated. So that's how the idea of rpc.nano.2 came about. For everyone doesn't know yet, rpc.nano.2 is a separate project of mine, and the goal is to bring public access to Nano nodes as easy as it can be for developers, but also anybody. And a big push on that project is SEO, not just the RPC itself. But that's a different discussion. So when it comes to struggles I've had along the way, it's been the kind of struggles that make me realize, well, snap, I have to create an entire new service that is going to be a foundational piece of this overall idea that I have. So, I created Nano 2. I realized that the immediate struggle was, oh, snap, I need access to a public Nano node. Or actually, I quickly realized that having access to one node is not even good enough to have a reliable payment checking service. So what you need to do is be checking multiple nodes at the same time for a particular payment, so that you can get the most accurate, or should I say the fastest response time. Because at any given time, one node potentially in Asia may not have the latest block, such as a node in Europe. So by RPC.Nano.2 automatically transmitting your RPC call to random nodes, it's actually able to produce more accurate and stable block results, if anything. So yeah, to answer the question in a very long format, every time that I've created a new project, I typically struggle because something that is needed for that doesn't exist yet, or the existing product just doesn't cut it. But I'm happy to report that I'm pretty much done in terms of platforms. So we got Nano 2, we got RPC, we got Metrics.bar, we got Menu Miami, which sounds totally different. And those are pretty much it. I've built everything that I think I need for the next 10 or 20 years. Now everything that's left is just JavaScript libraries and things like that can be done client side. Yeah, that's my story.
Genial. And tu hablar un poquito en español, es importante que tengamos herramientas también que puedan ser reproducidas para todas las personas que puedan entenderlo. Entonces, we need to do things or tools to make almost or everyone in the world to have the ability to use it. Going to think on that. And yeah, we should be learning about what is to run our own node or nano node and see how this make everything you create for nano and with nano a more, let's say, efficient way to do things, as to rely maybe at services that they are there for you, but if you are making this solo for you, for making your goals at developing come true, go for the node, run your node, and you will be unlocking many more possibilities for your development, that is going on now and tomorrow. Also want to say, I want to do a warm welcome to Mustafa, welcome from Kids Compassion Charity. Good to have you here.
Hey, Carlos, how are you doing, Carlos?
Great. We are here conversating a few about the obstacles that maybe the initiatives have been facing or encountering, or pushing their product or service or initiative further. So firstly, we would like to know about what's the Kids Compassion Charity history as today. What have been happening with your initiatives at this time? What is the history or the origin of it?
Oh, well, Carlos, we have been doing some great things here in Sierra Leone. We have been working since 2010, and then we have been following Nano because, like, previously Nano have been helping, like we in 2022, Nano give us support to get to be in Ghana. So we went there, we do some launching of Nano, and we do some adoptions, let people know how Nano works, it's a feeless currency and all those things. So I decided to came back and take a look about how my people are suffering and all those issues in regards about children after the deadly Ebola outbreak here in Sierra Leone, mudslide. And presently here we have something like a military coup that want to undertake, but the plan was not successful. This one happens yesterday, Sunday, on the 26th. Some military men burst into the president's office and want to just overtake him, but the president was not around. He was in another duty in Egit.
Oh, that's
You guys,
plenty story.
yep, you guys know that we have a whole lot of coup undertaking in West Africa. Like you can see some of those West Africa countries, they are taking power from democratic government because of the hardship and a lot of suffering presently. Inflation is going skyrocket up. Rice is like going to $50 for a bag. This is a country where you have people cannot live by $1 a day. So we set up Kids Compassion Charity to see how we can settle some of these issue. Kids going to school without having 1 meal a day. So for now, we are engaging on school feeding and a slum community feeding. So like today, when everybody is at home, we have like a curfew, which is last from 9 p.m. It will be getting to 6 a.m. in the morning. So everybody needs to be indoors at 9 p.m. here in Sierra Leone. So we have like maybe 2 hours. Everybody needs to be in. So presently the situation is not easy, and most of our kids now, they are at home, don't have food. And then that is our biggest problem, to meet with kids in some of these household and give them some hot meal. But because of the poor condition, and now that is the reason why we are trying to see how we can get link with Nano to see how Nano can help these kids, which just like $50, you can get a bag of rice where we can cook and help the kids in this slum community. Presently, we have a lot of people sit back at home, and then love to see how we can get Nano as a payment platform system down here in Sierra Leone. We have a lot of people will do it, because like most of our transaction is being done through the Binance, and Binance presently they are here in West Africa. So somebody can do transaction to Binance and can get our local fiat. So the point here is we want to see how Nano can be a payment platform system where people can, like I can see you can swap PayPal into Nano now. So it's a great ideas. So for now, we are in a serious challenging situation for now. People are not coming out. We are indoors. Some of our kids in the slum community now are facing very challenging to get food. So that is the present condition we are in now, Carlos.
Musta,
Yeah.
I say to you that you are brave even at some harsh conditions that a country can be at, and the people that living at the territory is looking always looking for the way to keep the life alive. And I am thinking now, speaking, hearing you this evening, that using Nano to support this initiative that you are sharing with us, should be helping not only to feed the children, that you are doing it properly and that you are doing it in a very, I would say, courageous way. So not only to feed the children, but to be serve as capital to transform the situation. How to use your money to change the world for good. As we have seen at Africa, there are many vendors that are using Nano, and not only into the food industry, also into the manufacture sector and industry, and it all turns to be a change of the way of the money, a change of the way of living. And I totally convoke also the community to look at kids compassion charity and help people, children. I am sure many mothers at Sierra Leone to keep going and to keep I will say, que sigan creciendo, que sigan viviendo, to keep living and to keep growing, hopefully in peace and in a way that their own people can decide how to live freely and as freely as to use your own money. So I
Yeah. So like what you're saying, because we are also like what I'm saying, like you can see like Nano is moving now, and then getting a lot of payments platform system in other countries. So that is the reason why we are working to establish Freetown Pay. If you know, our capital city is Freetown. So we just want to see how we can get this payment platform called Freetown Pay, that will be generating some profit at the end of the day, and then we can use those profits again to help the kids. So Freetown Pay is a payment platform system we want to build. We are, if somebody is in United States or any part of the world, and that person wants to send money, he can use the Freetown Pay to do it. So Freetown Pay will be here and building Nano on top of the Freetown Pay. So people can send money down here to Nano, and then we can give the person the local fiat here. So we can hold on the Nano, and then we can give the person fiat. But we just want to see how Nano can be a payment platform down here in Sierra Leone. So with Freetown Pay, that is another platform ideas we want to see. So with that Freetown Pay, we can even use a system where we can give people loans, payback loans, and maybe give them some creative ideas. Even the kids, we want to establish a school to farm project. That school to farm project is a project that we want Nano to work with us, where the kids can grow their own food in the school, and then they can use those food for breakfast or maybe like and lunch as well. So we want to see how they can plant their own food with less chemicals and all those things. So that is some of the projects we are looking at, especially Freetown Pay. We want to see how we can come up with some adoptions, putting Nano into some universities, some prominent universities like FBC, University of IPAMS. We have some university students that we can even establish and start our Nano community and chapter in some of these universities, where we can get a lot of people, a lot of university students giving their own stories, and by using Nano as a payment platform.
That's amazing, Musta. Yeah, basically, we are seeing that at Africa, people living in Africa are using Nano as money as freely as it is, and it can help people to integrate their economy to a very efficient tool to value transfer today. So I encourage everyone that is hearing this to look at Nano. And as we are looking at Nano today, that we are hearing about these amazing stories shared by our guests, I am pleased to tell you that we are at the activity time. And now we are gonna present one activity to you at where you can earn Nano today just by being here and to doing simple tasks that I'm sure you can do it. First, get a paper sheet or any surface that you can drive or draw on top, and write the following. I use Nano and use I use Nano, and take a photo of it and share with us at Twitter at Eds. You can tag me. I am Murgas Carrillo, Murgascarrillo. Murgas Carrillo, and you will be ready to earn some Nano today. Just do that. Write in a paper sheet or anything you have, and you can draw some lines at or some words, and write the following: I use Nano, and take a picture of that and upload it here at Twitter at Eds, and tag me, send me your Nano address, and I will send you some Nano. That's right. And if everyone have anyone from our guests have any activity to present to the community, this is the moment too. You can propose something similar at what I proposed, or just pass. That's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Carlos. I will do that. I will do it. A white sheet of paper and do what you say, and then I'll post it and let other guys can see.
Excellent. Great, Musta, great. All right. You are now informed. Go ahead and do it. And let's continue with our conversation. I and maybe some of you are aware that I am more more inclined to prefer privacy. I think that some of you also will be as me. So I will I am I want to ask to our three guests today, what are the data, or do you collect any data from your users or your donors, or you are just pay and receive the service? Do you, yeah? What is your handle of the information of the data of your users? Let's go with Esteban. Have you gave us an introduction on what you are working to on the privacy part of the project?
Sí, buena pregunta. Good question. So I think in general, I have a lot of projects with Nano, and in general, they all follow the same privacy rules. So I just posted a picture on the Metrics.bar Twitter account. So that is Metrics_bar. And it gives you a list of the exact, and I should also paste in here the privacy page. Privacy. So I'll list them off real quick. And so they are, so if you sign up for Metrics.bar, that is slightly different than if you visit a website that is using Metrics.bar to track visitors. So if you are a visitor of a website that is using Metrics.bar, we basically do not collect anything from you. We do not. So for those who are not aware, Google Analytics has been around for a long time, and they've been doing very dubious things for a long time, such as leaving cookies in your browser, collecting unique information from your browser and things like that, so that they can track you along the internet, along the entire internet. So cookies have had a bad rep in terms of privacy for a while. So I didn't even want to do any of that. So when I created Metrics.bar, I basically said, okay, so we're not going to collect any kind of information aside from what is available to the IP address. So when you visit a website that is using Metrics.bar analytics, your browser is going to send a one-time ping to Metrics.bar, and that's going to include your resolution, the screen resolution, and the page that you are on. That is it. There's no cookies, there's no local storage, there's no session or any of that information. There is no unique identifier that is given to you so that I can track you elsewhere. None of that. So again, just to list off the image on Twitter. So we don't collect any personal information from the browser or from you or anything like that. We don't collect any information that may have already been stored in the browser by other applications. We do not share any kind of information with third parties. We do not mine the data for behavioral trends. And of course, animals were not harmed in the testing of this software product. So if you are a paying customer of Metrics.bar, that is slightly different because now you're logging in and out. So we have a moral obligation to protect your account from unauthorized access. So if you do sign up for Metrics.bar, we do collect a little bit more information about you, such as the time of day of login, the IP address that you logged in with, and things like that. But again, because this product is built to replace the biggest beast in the land, which is Google Analytics, and Google Analytics has a nasty reputation of the opposite of privacy, I would look bad if my product, if Metrics.bar, did anything suspicious, right? So the concept from the very beginning of Metrics.bar was to create something that just works, doesn't go down often, and is as privacy respecting as it can be. Because the funny thing is that if you literally are not evil, people will gravitate to you. Google has lost, in my opinion, they've lost their way from the company that they used to be. They used to be don't be evil, and now they are how much evil can we get away with? So I am from the time when software was about the people instead of about the profits, and I want to go back to that. And I think Nano, in conclusion, Nano is a fantastic product because Nano allows you to create an alternative of anything monetized with Nano. So an alternative to Facebook monetized with Nano, an alternative to Linktree monetized with Nano, an alternative to Google Forms monetized with Nano. So, yep, that's Metrics.bar. Oh, and one more thing. Everything that I just said basically applies to every other software product that I own. One amazing fact about Nano: if you can figure out an effective way and a clean way to monetize your applications with Nano, you do not need to rely on advertising revenue or whatever revenue comes from selling your users' data, right? So Nano is amazing because it turns the advertising revenue model on its head, basically by saying, no, we can monetize things with Nano, we can make money with Nano, and we can actually keep our product, our users as our customers instead of our product, if you will.
Totally. And see how this all comes up. We can look at other projects, look at what other people are doing with Nano, and came up with a very respectful way to do business, as we see. And George, what are your takes on the question? What are the information handling that Nano.casa does?
So it's pretty much the same thing on Nano.casa. I don't collect any personal information. I'm using a privacy-focused analytics product called Plausible Analytics, and it just basically tracks stuff like country, browser type, and the operating system of the device, and that's pretty much it. That's why you don't see consent banners or cookie pop-ups and all that jazz. I hate those stuff, and I'm never gonna build this on any of my websites. So I'm glad that stuff exists. I might actually start using Metrics.bar on PolyRun or other websites that I build eventually. But yeah, I don't collect any personal information either.
Yeah, great point. If you don't collect all that stuff, the websites where Metrics.bar is installed, You don't have to do the cookie pop-up. You can skip that annoying UI.
Great, great. See how this all turns into a good conversation about what to do to improve the way we handle the information of our customers or visitors or donors. Musta, what are your takes on the question? Do you collect any information, for example, the addresses from the potential supporters of the curfews, of the I mean at the feeding programs that you are hosting, that you are supporting?
Well, Carlos, for now, like we say, the government just lift for just few minutes where people can just rush up and go to the market and get some food stuff. So, like for now, we are hoping to see and pray to see how this whole thing can come. And for now, I think this will be one of the biggest projects we will love to have where Nano can infiltrate down here in Sierra Leone. Because, like as I said, this is a state where one somebody cannot live by $1 a day. Abject poverty every day, like things are getting up every day, like skyrocketing, inflation, and most of our food stuff is being like from the Chinese, and a lot of the Chinese are infiltrated here in Africa, especially in Sierra Leone. So with Nano, I think with other projects we have, like we want to see how we can establish our orphanage home where we want to keep kids. So we love to have Nano as one of our sponsors into the that project, which is first Nano orphanage home here in Sierra Leone. That one will be great. But like as I say, for now, we are hoping to get some food stuff. If we look around and make some posts and have some support, then we can do some feeding and get to the kids in some of these different households. Like we have like 10 household, and each household you can get over 10, 20 to 30 people in one household. You know, Africa is like a lot of family. You can have one man can have more than 10, 15 kids, and he's living with only like him having his farmland or something like that. So we are looking to see if we can get some food stuff where we can get a bag of rice, which is cost like $50 here, and cook food. That one can support like maybe 10 household where we can put the food in some of those small rubbers and share to the kids, because for now people are not coming outside for a long time. You have to be indoors because there's a lot of military men passing around, and then all this problem is like happening in those different other countries as well. So it's not easy for the people for now. So we are hoping to use this technology called Nano to see how we can feed the people.
Yeah. Totally, totally. And it's very important to note that at every effort we do to uh, improve the adoption of Nano, we could look at the beautiful things in the world, like the African food. I'm sure you had seen the amazing preparations and tasty looking food that is being prepared today, that is being served today at Africa. And what a good thing to help Kids Compassion Charity to do these delightful meals for the children and for the in need, in need. I want to also say hello, a warm welcome to Samest. Welcome to this conversation. Good to have you here, Nano Community Ambassador from Nigeria. Hello, Samest. Good to have you here. Yeah, Samest. At this moment, the mic was off. And this is the moment for the community to raise any question you have with the speakers, with us, with the community, and to share an idea you wanna or that you came up during this conversation and you want to share with us. This is the moment for that. Also, if into the between the speakers you have any question, you can do it now. Anything you want to share. Yeah. All right. That's okay. And let's go now with our closing. I'm sure that some of you did the activity, so remember to do that. And thank you to our guests today, to the amazing nano builders and nano supporters, nano adopters that we are keen, that we are happy to be speaked with, to share these many ideas. And I believe, yes, Amest. Hello, hello.
Hi. Good day.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are here with a song pretty awesome support nano adopter from Sierra Leone, Mustafa, from Keeps Compassion Charity. Also with George from Nano.casa. Great to learn more about it. And Esteban from Metrics.bar. So yeah, good to have you here as well.
Thanks, Carlos. Thank you so much. I am a little bit late to the conversation, but I was able to listen to Mustafa presentation at the later end, talking about how to give support to kids and provision of foods and looking from the angle of using nano to achieve this aim. And I think is a wonderful idea, spreading um, our love to kids, making use of what we have to reach out to as many as possible that we can reach out to, thereby increase the adoption of the nano and its services. So I think that's a great and wonderful idea. And I'm happy that we're actually spreading especially in African continent. I'm happy that nano is spreading across, and the people that are representing Africa are people of like minds that want to make sure that they they give their support to the community they belongs to, and also help people seeking for those that need help, and creating an opportunity or ways to make sure that they give that support to the people that really need them. So Mustafa, thanks, and I hope the community too is going to rally around how to support your mission, and definitely we know that Nano also will, the adoption will definitely grow. Nano will grow in your country if you yourself don't relent in pushing and bringing out innovations that will make Nano grow and reach out to as many as possible people that we can reach out to in Sierra Leone.
Totally. And I'm gonna also bring to the conversation a quote I like. The success is the combination of the preparation and the opportunity. And at this time we are living at, I believe the opportunity was granted to us by the great mind of Colin that is here with us today. Listen, very honored to have your your attendance here and to be with us, speaking more about these three amazing stories. We have already came from a series of conversations, and we are here to continue to keep spreading the all things nano and all the good that we can do with nano, and to improve the way we value transfer and the way we use money for us. So yeah, very very nice to have this time to learn more about these three amazing stories. And if you wanna to say some goodbyes, some bye bye words, this is a good moment.
Thank you so much, everyone, for giving us time. Um, I want to give a big shout out to everyone who donated yesterday to the Nano uh, uh, client side JavaScript library that I'm working on. That is coming out this week. So you're going to be able to pay on most websites with Nano as if you were paying with Apple Pay.
Great, great. We are looking forward for it, Esteban. George, would you like to say some bye byes?
Yeah, thank you, Carlos, for making these. I know it's a lot of work. I appreciate it. Thanks for having us. And I'm looking forward to be here next time. Maybe talk about a little bit of progress on PolyRun.
Wonderful. Yeah, we are open to learn more about PolyRun as well, and to anyone that is creating something with Nano, come, and we will be very open and in a very wholesome space conversation to learn more about your story. So come to the NCI 3S stories, and yeah, probably you will be the next guest at our next episode. Yeah, Musta, would you like to say some bye byes as well?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Collins, and thank you very much to all of you guys, the Nano guys. We love you, and we love to see how we can post our I love Nano. Um, then we can get some support for the kids. Like we say, we are presently a seat at home, so we are at home now. Nobody's going out and coming in, so we want to see if we can get support and use this Nano to fly the message out that with Nano we feed people that are asked to be in home for like maybe 1 to 2 weeks. If we can feed people with Nano, so we can send those messages. So all those one is like it's a way of adoptions where people can know that with the Nano we use food stuff, print some T-shirts, and meet some of these kids living in the slum community, so we can share the message all over and bring more people attention, because for now the people need Nano, like as I say. Thank you very much, Carlos.
And yeah, any other psalmist? Would you like to say some bye byes as well, Lorenzo?
Yeah, I will just need to say the solidarity among the Nano Foundation has been the driving force to many of us, and um, just look for problem and look for problem and present it with the solutions that you have in your heart towards using Nano as a technology to solve them, and you will see the community coming around to support you. So it has been an amazing work with Nano, and I hope to see and hear more stories about how Nano has been able to solve so many real world problems, and how people are uh, adopting and accepting Nano for their goods and services. So thank you, Carlos, for these initiatives, and I know that with these initiatives, Nano is going to go far and reach to as many as possible that we want to reach out to. So thank you, Carlos, for this opportunity and the initiative.
Thank you, Samest. Yeah, we have a raised hand. You can speak up, Colin. Welcome.
Hey, Carlos. Thank you. I didn't get to hear the beginning part of this, but I heard everyone talking at the end, and everyone I can see is working to see what they can do to make Nano work. And I think there's a good quote on this, and that it's making good things is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration, and it takes a lot of effort, and that's not just me, that's everyone here, and everyone else that we can talk with about it, that will make Nano effective. It's not a one person thing, it's an everyone thing, and I think that's important to remember, that everyone's effort is really what makes Nano work. So thank you guys. I think we all agree that what we want to see on the future of digital money, and I think Nano does, in my opinion, does that very well. And I think we share that. So thank you everyone for all that you work on, and I support all of it. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe a very deep thank you for making possible for us to gather and to use this technology. And we are here to share stories, and will be an honor again to hear you in maybe in a next episode about maybe something that you have or that you are working specifically on Nano, maybe as a side, maybe another derivation of Nano that you have came out with to do as a service or as a something. We don't know. We would like to know as well. And yeah, thank you again, everyone, for being here. I also wanna say, um, or to give the moment to speak to Nano for Pigs is if it's there, and Lorenzo, in that order to close our conversation today.
Yeah, I was wondering if Nano for Compassion had a Nano address to donate to.
All right, all right. At this moment, you can look into your screen that you have a button there. It seems like a chat, so you can also write a tweet from these spaces, and you will have the opportunity to share your Nano address if you wanna do it in the moment or any way that you wanna give others notice about how to send you some Nano. Yeah, Lorenzo, would you like to say some bye-bye? Well,
Yeah, thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Colin, Esteban, George, everyone. It's my first time participating in this, but I'm sure I will come back because I was also working on some integration with Nano and Drupal, which is a framework, an open source framework to build websites, let's say. But it's still not ready yet, so I hope I will have something to present on the next occasion. Thank you, everyone.
thanks you as well, and good to know. Will be a pleasure and a very fun time to learn more about Drupal if I listen well. So let's go forward.
Also, I wanted to give some inspiration to maybe someone who's listening now or later of some needed service, probably, if we want more merchants to start using Nano, start accepting Nano. Because I try to ask here, I live in Milan, in Italy, but For sure, first they have to learn about it, they have to trust it, and they have to have some ways to convert to fiat money. So probably some service is needed about that, some automatic conversion, some integration with the exchanges that have the specific fiat currency to give the merchants the merchants some free mind, free of risks of losing value by keeping Nano in their accounts. It depends, no? Of course, it can go down, it can go up, but maybe some stability is needed for them.
All right, that's a point to talk about. Maybe hopefully in a furthermore conversation at this Nano Community Initiatives 3 Stories series. And thank you all who have been for being here, for sharing your thoughts, your idea for the future that we are building right now. So let's see you all next time. Thank you. And this is gonna be recorded. So if you wanna share it with some of your peeps, of your friends, of everyone, be ready to check it out at the official Nano channels. Okay, bye bye.